all day today. Like literally trying to just get as much sleep as I can, and I have been sleeping so much. I can't really put a finger on what's happening or why. Like, I'm not even getting my period soon. I genuinely just think it's from being surrounded by people all the time and barely taking any time for myself, because, you know, it's exciting. There's a lot of adrenaline, there's a lot of getting to know people, getting to meet people, wanting to sit with them, but I feel like I haven't maybe prioritized like just me time. And we are constantly taking classes and constantly moving our bodies. It's the third week and I think maybe my body took a bit of a toll on it, but I just decided to take almost all of today for myself. And I have to teach my first class tomorrow, and I haven't even prepped the class, but I have faith that everything's gonna be okay. But I'm just trying to be compassionate with myself and trying to be a little bit gentle, although it is a bit hard because I'm here and I want to be present for everything and I want to put like my utmost effort, but it genuinely just feels like my body is just super tired and I have to honor that for now. I'm literally about to just do my first ever 90-minute class. I feel so much better today, but I still feel under the weather. I wrote down my plan schedule. I genuinely did not think it would be as difficult as it was. I had to imagine what postures I wanted, what were the transitions, and how long to hold it for, because there's specific timings, because like this first class needs to have like a specific structure which is more like contributing to like the traditional hatha methodology. But I did it and I think it's fine. I'm gonna try to film a bit of the class. I don't know how much I'm gonna be able to because I'm gonna be teaching there for 90 minutes, which is crazy to say out loud, but I am really excited. And head there and get some flowers because I want to put them on the yoga mat. And I guess just get into it. I don't even know. It's gonna be on the rooftop and there's gonna be the sunset, so I'm super excited for that. Welcome to keep your hands on your hips and lay down into Shavasana. It's next to our body. And on your next inhale, you're going to lift up your hips and hold your ankles maybe more slowly. So first of all, we're going to lift our hips up. And then you're going to put the crown of your head onto the ground. And when you feel ready, you can bring your head up. All the way up. Before the night ends, I just want to briefly say how my day went and how the teaching class went. I think you can literally just tell in the shift in my face and just how much I'm smiling is that I feel so fucking fulfilled. Like, that was one of the most beautiful experiences I've had. Like, I think it just in my life, because I've always imagined myself in this role, like, maybe just being a teacher role, but also teaching something that I love and connecting people in the way that I want people to feel to themselves. And just like having a success, like even if it's like a brief moment of that, just feels so fucking good and so fulfilling. And it makes me feel so possible that like the most thing that I feel like I struggled with when I was doing that class was my psychological and personal problems. Like I didn't feel like it was the actual tangible, like maybe my speech or my instructions or what I was giving. That comes with practice for sure. I don't think I was perfect, but it's not something that was weighing me down. I just feel so good and I'm so excited to teach my next class, and it went on for an hour and a half and it didn't fucking feel like an hour and a half whatsoever. But nonetheless, it was such a beautiful experience, and like, yeah, I just feel really good. I feel like I can't stop smiling or cheesing. It feels really nice. It feels really nice that I'm so sure of this path for now. Like maybe that might change in the future, but for now I feel like I'm so sure that I just want to embark on this journey and see where it takes me. It just feels really nice. It feels so fucking nice.
Eyes closed. Offer salutations to the divine, to the universe. Call and response.
What's the Kaidarium. Okay, Mono is here to describe. Okay, I told you he came with a pot filled with nectar. So here in his left hand, so Ayurveda always says that if you're giving medicine to somebody and you want that person to be healed, give it with your left hand. Okay, he was considered as the father of surgery also before Shushruta.
That means you have something to sell. And what you have to sell, someone should be interested.
I was just journaling, as one does. And I actually came to this realization. I've been dealing with a few stuff, like with being here. Some things were brought up to the surface, and a part of me like kind of went back to that old programming of needing to solve it and needing to get to the root of it, and also blaming myself like, why the fuck are we here again? Like we've been through this so many times before, it just never ends. And I feel like I kind of went with that sort of victim mentality until like I woke up in the morning. I was like, you know what, I'm going to take it fucking slow. Like by today I'm gonna release one thing and another. Like I don't have to snap my fingers and get rid of everything that I'm feeling. And although I was letting myself feel everything that I was feeling, but I think I was also just frustrated. I was like, why? Just why? Like why is this popping up again? Why is this happening to me? I woke up this morning and I had that same pang, like just all in the morning, fresh as I opened up my eyes, and I was like, this is crazy. I don't want to live a life where I'm going to wake up dreading everything that I have to face, so afraid of facing my emotions, being so afraid of like getting triggered or just meeting myself where I don't want to meet myself, that I told myself, you know what, I'm gonna label exactly what it is. I literally, in my mind, I took out the situations 1, 2, 3, I let them have their little circle bubbles. I located it in my body, and this was in my what we have like first thing in the morning meditation. All of it was in the throat actually. Like I genuinely felt a huge lump in my throat, and I was like, okay, this is interesting. So I just let them like figuratively sit, and then I was like, do your thing, like whether it be the meditation, and I'm just gonna set an intention that throughout this day I want to let these small, I imagine them as spirals, just travel my body and like do that. And as I was in my meditation, there was a few things that popped up from my childhood, and I could instantly feel my throat genuinely clench up. Tears were in my eyes and I was like crying. I let myself cry, and then I started breathing through it, and then I started imagining the scenarios. And I don't know why, I felt like in that moment I asked myself, what did I need? And I felt like I just needed my dad's hug, like specifically my father. And I imagined when in each scenario that my dad was there behind me, and he would like take his hand out and kind of like extract the emotion from the situation, remove the emotional charge from it. And as my dad did that, the scenario, which was literally my memory, softened, and I could see the other side of the story, where I could see the other person's point of view, and where I could remove why did this happen to me vibe. And it was more like, okay, this is what happened. And in that moment I had to tell myself that there's nothing wrong with me. It doesn't mean that I'm unloved, and it doesn't mean that there is something inherently wrong with me, because that's the story that I picked up from those situations. They were mainly betrayal. Betrayal was a huge theme for me this like past few months. And then of course, like right after our yoga class, it was a day where we were focusing on the throat chakra. It was completely random, like we don't have all these classes all the time. But today I was like, that's really interesting that you say that. I wonder why. It was so cool because I set an intention that throughout that yoga practice, I will move my physical body to let these emotional like turmoils move throughout my body. And it turned out to be such a fun class, and like I felt like a child again. I don't know, it just felt super pure. Small things started happening throughout the day that were super synchronistic and just super like, are you kidding me? It's that easy. I just need to like let go and believe that there is a way beyond all of this. All of these small things happening, and I'm like, oh my god, like I'm so happy that every time I fall into a little something, I just have that reminder of like, there's always a way, there's a way. The biggest point to all this is that me being here is the biggest testament that things get better, because I remember how I felt 2 months ago. I remember how I felt literally a month ago, or even a few weeks before this. Technically this is like one of my dreams coming true. So me genuinely just being here on this ground, on this like surrounded by these teachers, by these people, is the biggest testament that it gets better. Just having that belief and having that knowing makes me feel so relaxed, and that whenever something comes up, I'm like, I see how it can get better. I literally have proof in my life that things get better. Really important thought. And now I'm gonna be late for class because it's 10:26 and class is at 10:30.
It's not Leviosa, it's Leviosa.
Oh, you tell him, Hermione. Get money. Oh my god. It would be a good like reason to kind of I have to say, winter is also great. Also, autumn is really nice. The trees. I think I have you like looking at me you really have to. I love my cars. Yeah, it's. I feel like it's such a connection. Look how beautiful she is. Make me laugh like that. Feel your anahata. I'm like, wait. Can you like digitalize? It is officially the last week, which is the 4th week of this entire yoga teacher training, which sounds so crazy and surreal to say out loud because I'm like, holy shit, how fast did the time like literally pass? But at the same time, it feels like we've been in such a deep dive into everything that I'm like, it feels like it's been here. I've been here for more than a month. I won't lie, like this past week I think was a bit like the toughest for me mentally. Because you're here and it's so physically demanding and it's so mentally demanding, it could be super confronting because it's just there all the time. It's not like you can be like, oh yeah, I'll have my alone time, which you can definitely, which is in between the classes, but even that is just not enough. Now that I feel like I'm kind of like edging closer like to the light from like all the darkness that I was engulfed in, there's one main thing that I have noticed in like these patterns that I go through, and the initial response that I have to anything that I feel like it's a bit emotionally more constricting, or I feel like it's, oh shit, there's something coming up, I instantly go to the belief system that I need to solve it. I always tell myself to feel my emotions, but for me it was more of the control aspect. Like I have this utmost control to like set a time frame for when I should feel my emotions, to control how I deal with it, to control everything after it. I am so in the story that I become like a victim of the story, and then I become like, okay, I need to solve the external premise of this. Like I need to solve what is actually externally happening, when in reality all I need to do is kind of like literally take 4 or 5 deep breaths, tell myself that it's all within. I just remind myself that there's nothing that I need to solve right now. There's nothing that I need to control. There's nothing wrong with me. Like it's so fucking normal for these emotions to come up. It's so normal for shit to come up. Kind of being like, oh, whatever, like this is it. And I have had this controlling factor of like, you should be over with this like right now. Like when I have that controlling tendency, my nervous system is whack. It's always anxious, whether it's subconsciously or consciously. It's more fast paced. My answers are super sharp. Sometimes I could be like even super straightforward and super direct. I think it just doesn't feel like a safe environment for me. I have to nitpick and find something wrong within everyone else, or the place, or the teachers, or the teachings. Like it just, I have like a self-coping mechanism of like making sure that everything and everyone is the problem outside, and so that I'm like, oh, it's not me, it's literally them. Once those judgments soften, and once I realize, oh my god, it's nothing like external, I'm like, oh my god, like This is genuinely something that I need to like dive deeper. I realize also that when I control, my stomach and my digestive system is really the first thing that gets affected by that. I just like scrunch up so much. I just eat unconsciously, and that leads to my digestive system feeling whacked, because then I also can't digest what I'm eating, because I'm like, oh my god, I ate so much and I feel so full and I feel bloated, and I have to do yoga, and so it's not the best sensation. And then because I'm like holding like, oh my god, then I'm not even allowing my body to digest what's not being digested. So I don't know, it was interesting, but I do feel myself like this morning feel a bit softer, feel a bit more tender, because we did a prenatal class this morning, and so it was all about like being pregnant, and we had like cushions on our stomach and we had to kind of pretend that we were pregnant. And I feel like that was super calming for me, because also I tapped into the fact that, oh my, like holy shit, I have this deep desire of wanting to be a mother, and I'm gonna be a mother one day. Like I'm literally gonna have a whole other being inside of me. Number one thing that I have to do is like to learn about myself and to understand myself, because I want to be able to raise a child while being regulated, if that makes sense. Like of course maybe I might lose my regulation sometimes, but to know how to calm myself down. And I feel like, I don't know, when I tapped into that, I'm like, there's so much more to my life than just this. Like there's so much more that I'm going to do, that it kind of feels insignificant to like dwell. Oh my god, there's so many more things in life that I want to do. There's so much more. When I had that perspective, it made me soften and realize that like, okay, first of all, there's no rush to get where I want to get. Let's just fucking relax. Like there's so much more to life than just this. Like sometimes you can get so engulfed in your own problems. I'm like, oh my god, it's not that deep. Like it's not that crazy. Like take a deep breath, relax. Again, I feel like I have been constantly reminded this year, and to come back to this, like knowing that like there is nothing innately wrong with me. I am whole. There's just some shit that I picked up on the way, that I went through when I was a child, that I've identified as my story unconsciously, and I'm here to remind myself that there is nothing to fix. There is nothing I need to control. The only thing actually I need to control is my mind. I really understand that like sometimes these thoughts come through, and it's okay for me to say that like you're here and you're present and I acknowledge you, but you're not me. You're literally not me, and I'm not gonna allow you to dictate. Like, genuinely having this firm like boundary of like, you're not going to fucking dictate anything in my life. I choose what I want and what I don't want. And when I did that in a very like powerful but graceful way, like not in a like fuck you, like I don't want these thoughts, like literally speaking to my thoughts, and I did it in a very graceful way, like I see you, I honor you, I can understand why you're here, but I choose right now for my reality to not have you part of my personality or my identity. The second that you do that, it kind of goes like, oh well, of course I have 50 billion thousand thoughts, and not all of them are going to be me. How can I identify with every single thought that I have? This week we are focusing on like the actual logistics of being a yoga teacher and like the marketing strategies and all that. So I'm actually really excited for that. I don't know, I'm really excited. I have a really bittersweet like feeling for this week. Like I'm sad that it's coming to an end, but I also feel so ready, if that makes sense.
Opening your chest, looking up at the sky, feeling the opening of the chest through your right shoulder. So let's continue to hold the needle, having our hands in the position, or two fists together. Sit down, bringing your right arm all the way up, opening up your chest and under your thigh, and clasping the fingers strongly. Opening here, you can bring your left hand on your back, right hip back.
Hello. It's November 3rd. Honestly, it's been so incredibly crazy to just witness my experience while being here. Yesterday was really good because I taught my class. The first class that I did and I taught, afterwards I was super excited and just like super like proud of myself and being like, oh my god, like I fucking did it, and like I'm actually really good. Like I don't know, I felt confident, I felt good. But the second time it was more of a personal experience. I made the class like about finding softness and strength, or finding strength and softness. I felt really passionate, like sharing and going about it, because it's something that I'm still navigating in my life now, and something that I feel like is very, maybe just a core value for me, like the polarity of both having strength but also being tender. I brought that into the class and I made it like the whole theme, and kind of how we moved through our postures, like holding postures but at the same time flowing through them and making them really slow. But it was still hard, because when you're slow and you're feeling a posture, it's still like, maybe sometimes it's even more intense than like fastly going through the postures. I played a poem. It just felt like everything that I've ever wished in one class, or being on the giving end of that and like having people receive that and then having their feedback in the end, because I think it's something so true for me, and so like something I'm very just passionate about, and something that really came from my heart. Having that and sharing it, like I feel like all of my expectations dissipated, all of my judgments dissipated. I was like, I'm just genuinely sharing what I have. Also, I love the whole like planning and structuring the class, and this is literally what I do. Like I sit down and I envision the class mentally, and it looks absolutely like, when you look at this, it just doesn't make sense, because I just wrote down like what to do and blah blah blah, and like comma, go to the other side, la la la, like just made a whole plan up until like the first shavasana to the last shavasana. I literally took a break. I let it soak into my like brain and my mind and everything, and then I came back an hour later and kind of had it a bit more organized, a bit more, I don't know. But to be honest, I barely use this, and I also improvised a lot, and I think it's because it's genuinely something that I love, and something that like I know what areas I'm focusing on and like what I want them to feel, that things just came up on the spot, and it just didn't feel like so much pressure. I cried at the end of the class, and I was like, this is life, and it's so right in my bones that this is the next step that I want to take in my life. I'm just so excited to embody it. And I think the more that I embody being a teacher, and the more that I'm in that role, I feel like the faster that I am learning things about myself, and the faster I'm making changes. There's a lot that I can take from here, and a lot that I want to like consciously sit with, that I'm just excited. I'm just so excited. And yeah.
Hold, close the board pockets.
Okay, focus on. Okay. Which one are you inhaling?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, same nostril. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Voldemort right now. No way.
2, 3, 4,
Why is my face
there? 1, 2, 3.
Sorry, just try. Let's see what's going on. I have just realized, like at least for me in my experience right now, what I've realized for my body, my bodily strength is so dependent on my mental strength. Whereas I felt like before, I would be like, oh fuck, no, I can't do this, and like it's gonna be so hard, and like my body's not that strong enough, and I wasn't strong. How I can explain it is, I feel like my entire life, ever since childhood, I have been like very controlling over my mind, and not in a way that it was a choice. It was more of like, that's the only thing that I knew was how to control my mind, because I didn't always feel safe. And then as I went to university and I like was experiencing life there and living alone and doing all that, I realized that like, wait, actually it's really nice to like let loose, be more spontaneous, and like be less afraid, and to just kind of like do whatever, like la 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 la. Came to the point where I feel like my mind didn't have any like barriers, it didn't have any like strong foundations. Like that led me to be very confused and a bit lost and a bit just like, okay, wait, I'm doing everything and I know that I can do whatever I want, but I feel really lost, I feel really confused, and I feel like that's not the best feeling to have all the time. I like to have aim, I like to have purpose. It doesn't have to be something so grand, but I like to have like, even if my purpose is like, okay, today I want to see how present I can be in this moment. I have this like really strong desire to just build something for myself, of like start working, being financially independent, but also doing something that I love. Just kind of craving that, like, make a decision, like make a choice. Like I've showed myself that opportunities are endless, that the choice is always in my hands, and technically there's not ever a wrong choice. But does that mean I really want to like sulk in the not knowingness? Wait, like I miss having my mind in control. Like I miss having a strong mind, but out of choice, not because I have to or not because that's the only thing that I know how to do, but because like I've experienced what it is to like let loose and have all that. But like I miss structure, and I miss a little bit of clarity in the mind, and I miss being strong. I fucking miss being strong so much. And the difference between being strong in the mind because that's the only choice that you have because it's survival, or having strength in your mind because it's a choice with resilience. Mind over matter. But listen to your body always. Listening to your body only comes when you've tamed the mind. How can you listen to your body and see what your body feels and what it wants when your mind doesn't even feel safe? Because I don't know the vicinity of my mind. I don't know what's going in and out. So how can I expect myself to relax this muscle? I think actually it's possible. I think a lot of people can do it, but I've just realized for me, I really need to understand, become aware of what's going on there, have a bit of structure and a bit of understanding with room for change and with room for compassion. And from there, I can relax this and fully tap into the body. Body knows so much fucking more than your mind knows, but if your mind is controlling everything, you'll never have space and time to listen to your body. That was a super long tangent. Also, we literally go home in like 4 days, which is fucking crazy for me. Like, I'm not even staying a day after. Anyways, bye. It's our graduation and I feel so ready, and this will be my little outfit. It just feels so good. I feel so complete. Yeah. Oh my god.
Like Diwali. And we have milk tea. Like, what's happening?
How are you feeling in one word?
I feel blessed.
Yay!
Yes. That's it. Too much pressure.
That's it. 1, 2.
Inhale. No, what did you say? Exhale.
Put your hand down.
Exhale, put your camera down.
Side, how are you feeling? One word.
One word.
Hungry.
For finishing the experience.
For finishing the experience?
Still hungry.
Fulfilled.
Yeah!
Hungry and fulfilled at the same time.